Good morning to you. Wednesday. I'm Stella Escobedo. Thank you so much for getting up with us.
And I'm Netta Irampur, filling in for Eric Connor this morning. And hopefully you got some rest despite the big bright moon. It is kind of a cool full moon energy, I will say. I feel a little pumped and excited. Do you feel the same, Evan?
Full moon in Aries, right?
Full moon Aries.
There you go.
Yeah,
Check out, what is that?
Cleansing one, new beginnings, guys.
I mean, we could all use a good cleanse, right?
Yeah.
If you can't take one literally, then at least a metaphorical cleanse can feel good.
It's the day your dreams are going to come true. That's what they say.
We were talking earlier about the dream catcher. When I was growing up, I used to always have a dream catcher out there, and it was always good. Then you would let it out and let it burn off and all that, all the bad dreams. Good day for a cleanse. It is a full moon, as you heard from Netta there, 99.9% full. The view outside is gorgeous. Let's switch to Otay. You can really see the moon beaming through there. Afternoon temperatures are going to be a lot warmer than where they are now. We're mostly in the upper 40s and 50s, but by the time we get to about 2 and 3 p.m., you can see how we could hit 70 degrees along the coastline, upper 60s inland, and 50s for your mountaintops. We'll take a look at the 8-day in just a few minutes, but let's talk about traffic. For now, we're doing okay. Not much volume on the roads as we speak. Want to take you just to about the Encinitas area. We're on the I-5 northbound. We have an accident that is blocking a couple lanes at Poinsettia Avenue. So keep Poinsettia Lane, I should say. So that exit has caused a little bit of a backup. Looks like speeds are back to normal, but we did see a bit of yellow on there, meaning a light congestion on those lanes. Keep in mind, if you're traveling north, you may run into that. But beyond that, you're doing okay to kick off your Wednesday morning. Back to you.
This is still not the end. We're still have a long way to go.
Maya Milliete's sister, emotional reaction from the family of South Bay mother Maya Millete after her husband's arrest. This morning, Larry Millete is in custody, accused of Maya's murder.
And all of this comes more than 9 months after she went missing. For 9 months. However, Maya's body has still not been found. News 8's Chris Groh is joining us live in Chula Vista with details of this investigation. Some answers, but still so many questions. Good morning to you, Chris.
Good morning, Stella and Netta. And look, we do have an idea of where prosecutors are going to be going with this case. A lot of it based on circumstantial evidence. However, Maya's family still pushing to figure out exactly where she is.
We're still asking the public, please help us bring my sister home.
We will, Marie Chris. We will.
I still want to see my sister.
We're here. We're here.
I still want her to come home to us.
Maya's sister, Marie Chris, very emotional after that bombshell drop there. And as you can see, Larry in handcuffs being arrested, finally charged with her disappearance and murder. Now, Larry Millete had already been declared a person of interest, the only one in this 9-month-long case. Now, District Attorney Summer Stephan believes Maya was in a toxic marriage with her husband. Stephan says Maya called a divorce lawyer on January 7th, the day she most likely disappeared. Since then, though, her body has still not been found. So some are wondering what that means for the case. Now, according to a legal expert that we spoke with, it's not necessarily as big of a roadblock for the prosecution as we might think. According to that person that we spoke with, essentially the circumstantial evidence will just have to play a huge role along with whatever physical evidence they do have. We do know that there are text messages that will be used as well as other evidence, such as where the phones went the day that they were declared, the day that they believe Maya was last seen during that 11-hour absence, and a lot of other factors will go into this as well too without that body.
There is case law that we will be using in this case that makes it even more clear that a missing body is circumstantial evidence that there was foul play and that it's a murder. Because somebody who takes their own life cannot hide their own body.
And Larry is due to be arraigned tomorrow. We did hear from his attorney for more on what he had to say. Just go to our website, CBS8.com, and click on the story link. Stella and Netta.
Chris, thank you. And Maya Milliete's friends, family, and complete strangers have been looking for her. They've been looking for her for months, 9 months. The group of so-called search warriors have been holding weekly searches around the area.
We've been waiting for this. We've been searching for months to try to bring her home so the family can have some some closure or just some answers. And sorry.
Yeah, and that's what the family wants. They want answers. They want closure. Neighbors say suspicions about Larry quickly surfaced after Maya's disappearance when he didn't show up to vigils and stopped talking to investigators. We'll have more reaction coming up in our next half hour. And also coming up at 6:30, we're going to take a closer look at the timeline of the events leading up to Larry Millete's arrest.
We will also hear from a private investigator who's been working on this case, so be sure you stay with us for these latest updates.
Meanwhile, this morning, ghost guns are closer to being banned in San Diego County after a vote from the Board of Supervisors. They voted 3-2 in favor of creating an ordinance banning the untraceable firearms in our county. The proposed ban would also prohibit possession and sale of parts without serial numbers used to make the weapons. The ordinance will be drafted within 90 days.
And an update now from the Navy. They're now calling the fire that gutted the USS Bonhomme Richard last year preventable and unacceptable. And today we expect to hear the full report. That's expected to come out. They found sweeping failures from 36 officers and sailors whose inaction either directly led to the ship's loss or contributed to this. The 5-day fire was ruled arson. A sailor assigned to the ship was charged for allegedly starting that fire, and the damage was so extensive the Bonhomme Richard had to be decommissioned. It would have cost about $3 billion to restore the ship. And we're getting another update this morning on the Santee couple who made it out of their home after the plane crashed right into it last week.
Phil and Maria Morris were badly burned when their house went up in flames, but they survived thanks to heroic neighbors who helped rescue them. Phil remains on a respirator, but Maria is awake and talking. This is Maria there. Their son tells us they're both recovering at UC San Diego's Hillcrest Medical Center.
So when she got out of the window, she did look like she had a little red on there, but with any burn, you know, if anybody's ever had a burn on their hand, they notice that as time goes on, you know, it changes and, you know, the burns keep going.
Their son James also says he can't thank the community enough for all of their support that the family has received. Today, the FDA could authorize the mixing and matching of COVID-19 booster shots. The agency is also expected to give authorization for boosters of the Moderna and the Johnson & Johnson shots.
Now, you may already know this. The FDA already authorized boosters of the Pfizer COVID vaccine. Some Americans have already been getting those boosters. Meanwhile, a new study shows the vaccine is even more effective against hospitalization for kids than it is for adults. Now, for kids, the shots are 93% effective. For adults who are not immunocompromised, it's 88% effective. An FDA panel will meet next Tuesday to discuss vaccines for children, and that would be between the ages of 5 and 11.
6:08 on your Wednesday. Let's go ahead and check in with Evan now. It is a cold start again, but we are seeing some changes on the way in the form of, you're saying maybe some rain?
Yeah, Monday of next week, we could be seeing widespread rain across Southern California. So that is going to come as a long wave starts to sink in our direction. The majority of that more moderate shower activity is going to be up to the north of us around Northern California, but we have good indications that local areas, coastal communities, inland valleys, mountains could pick up on some precipitation. Usually we only target maybe one of those areas. Now, Friday of this week, we are likely to encounter that marine layer drizzle once again. It looks like most of our models give us a little bit of a misting at least across your coastline toward your Friday morning. And then as we head into Monday of next week, that's where we run into that better chance for widespread precipitation. As we kick off your Wednesday morning, we are about 2 to 4 degrees warmer than where we were at this time 24 hours ago. So a little bit warmer, but really not by much. You see at Ramona, 4 degrees warmer right now, but they are still in the upper 30s right now. 4 degrees warmer in Oceanside, 2 degrees warmer in Carlsbad and in Poway. View outside still beautiful, lighting us up thanks to that full Hunter's moon right now, 99.9% full, and warming temperatures through tomorrow. So today and tomorrow we're on that warming trend, still below average for today, but by tomorrow we should run into those average, if not slightly above average temperatures. Patchy morning clouds, pockets of colder temperatures, and then breezy with a chance of rain from Friday into next week. Again, best chances are Friday morning with the marine layer drizzle, as well as Monday of next week for more widespread showers. Next 12 hours takes us to 69, maybe 70 degrees if we're lucky. Otherwise, though, partly cloudy skies through about noon, clearing out, giving us more sunshine past that hour. Couple things to mention. First thing that I want to mention, of course, we already touched on I-5 northbound around Encinitas. There is that crash that's being cleared up. But first, I want to take you to Coronado. We already see some slower speeds as you try to get onto the Coronado Bridge. That's where you're going to run into a little bit of difficulty, as well as once you get into Coronado. You see those slower speeds of more orange and yellow. But also want to take you down to Chula Vista. Looks like we just started to see some traffic pop up and some volume on the roads there. This is on the 5 northbound at exit 10, miles of Cars Way. You see as you get from the 94 onto the 5 that you're going to run into a little bit of trouble there after that crash, as well as the left-hand shoulder being blocked from that accident. So a little bit of a trouble and slower speeds as you head on the I-5 northbound, as well as the 94 westbound. 805 might be your better route for this morning. Stella?